Now, a new buzzword in the global advertising fraternity is femvertising. It refers to advertising and brand communication that can be perceived as pro-women. Think of campaigns like Dove Real Beauty and Tampax Always Like a Girl. We've shown you both of these campaigns on the program before. Now, a recent survey said 51% of women liked pro-female advertising that portray women as intelligent. 4 out of 5 women thought it was important for young people to see positive portrayals of women in advertising, and 94% of respondents said that using women as sex symbols in ads are harmful to gender dynamics. We'd like to hear your thoughts on femvertising on our Facebook page and also on Twitter. Now, another contentious issue in the advertising world is the role of women, particularly in leadership positions. After spending 20 years as a copywriter and creative director in various agencies in the United States, Kat Gordon had first-hand experience of the way women are often sidelined in the climb to the top of the corporate ladder. She felt so strongly about turning this trend around that she started the wildly successful 3% Conference in 2012 with the mission of supporting female creative leadership in advertising agencies. Mags on Media caught up with this thought leader on a recent trip to New York.
My agency specializes in marketing to women, so I spent a lot of time researching that market, and it's really amazing how much buying power, education, consumer influence, social media sharing, tech adoption that women have, and yet I kept looking at the ad world and it wasn't changing, it wasn't budging. And so it bothered me from a business perspective that if you've got this amazing opportunity to connect with a consumer group that's incredibly influential, and that group is telling you, I don't feel that advertisers understand me, and yet the ad agencies are still staffing up on the creative side, especially in leadership with men, well, obviously you're not going to have a good consumer connection. So that was what kind of led me to start to think about how could we solve for this? Why does this persist? So I did a lot of research about the reasons why women don't make it to the top in creative leadership, and they're starting out in equal numbers with men. So it's not an issue of recruitment, it's an issue of retainment. The number one reason is motherhood. Right when women are kind of eligible to become creative directors or move into leadership, it's usually in their childbearing years. And it's just super hard to have a career and a family in an industry like advertising, which can be so unpredictable. The way ad agencies run and what they prize in their employees is not friendly to family life. Yet if you look closer, it's also not tied to good creative output. So for some reason, advertising has become this industry that prizes people that burn the midnight oil, work the vampire hours, yet there's no proof. In fact, there's research that suggests that doesn't lead to better creative output. So we've created this work environment that is unfriendly to families, especially to women, yet it also does not help us achieve and deliver the product that we set out to do. So it seems so fixable to me. I was just reading a study in Arianna Huffington's new book, Thrive, where they've looked at European nations, and the ones that clock the most hours also fall the lowest on the productivity scale. So countries, again, like Sweden, they do better. They seem to understand that balance, inspiration, regeneration is good for the workforce. Women have low visibility within advertising. Women have low visibility in a lot of fields, but the only social media platform where men's usage trumps women's is LinkedIn, and that says a lot. It says that women are reluctant to put themselves out there, showcase their achievements, yet women are equal to men in the workforce, so there's no reason they shouldn't be equally represented on a platform like LinkedIn. I don't think women should be like men, but I think there are certain ways where men are actually modeling behavior that advances their careers and that women could learn a little from or lean a little closer to that kind of talking about your achievements.
And now where brand meets fashion, the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week Africa themed Our Heritage Reimagined has just finished. The 4-day event featured designers from Nigeria, from South Africa, Mozambique and Ghana. Now, we were interested to see where a car brand derives value from the association.
Windswept and and chaotic. We're coming to you from behind the scenes of Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, where a luxury car brand and fashion strut their stuff on a global stage. And it also sells the idea that the luxury and exclusivity of the Mercedes-Benz brand translates perfectly from road to ramp.
It's a great yin and yang relationship. They were at a stage, and I think it's pretty visible from their products. They were at a rejuvenation stage. They were at a rejuvenation stage of their brand and their product line, and they were looking for a far more avant-garde, outgoing, aggressive, cutting-edge positioning. We are in that space, so we complemented each other very well from that perspective.
The car maker has ventured into the world of fashion for several years now and sponsors fashion weeks across the globe. For the African market, this year's theme was Our Heritage Reimagined, a broad concept for a diverse continent.
So we thought to ourselves, use our heritage, use our strength, but review it, re-look at it from a perspective that speaks to this industry, that speaks to fashion, that speaks to being cutting edge, that speaks to being at the forefront of thought leadership. And that's essentially what we were trying to achieve with that particular statement.
And with Africa being an emerging market, designers are trying to make their creations more accessible to the masses.
You would get an individual who shows on the ramp with us, but then ends up doing a range for Edgar's, doing a range for Mr. Price, doing a range and legit. And that's how the product transcends off the high-end premium space, top-end sort of psychographic, demographic space, whatever you want to call it, to a far more broad-based, accessible market positioning.
Several designers also showcased their pieces designed exclusively for men. In the last 5 years, men's fashion and grooming has actually overtaken women's in terms of growth, with many young South African men taking a keen interest in the way they dress. A fact that may appeal to Mercedes-Benz as it looks to grow its market share. Yashni Padiachi for Mags on Media.
Next on Mags on Media, we'll stay with brand leverage and ask why sports sponsorship is a good idea for corporates. We'll also swing by the Open Book Comic Festival in Cape Town.